guys, it is currently Thursday, June 6th. I am just about 6.5 weeks out from my first bodybuilding show of the season. And this video is going to be the start of a little prep mini-series that we're going to be doing on this channel. Basically where I just take you guys along on the rest of my prep journey this year and just update you guys on how things are going each week. So that being said, I am currently on my way to the gym to do some fasted cardio. As of right now, it's just at 40 minutes, but I did check in with my coach this morning, so depending on his response, it may or may not get increased. But yeah, so right now it's just 40 minutes. It shouldn't be too bad, and I will catch up with you guys a little bit later on. Back from cardio. We are showered. I just made my coffee and I'm going to sit down to do some work in a little bit. But first, I just wanted to come on and recap a little bit about how this prep has gone so far. Because honestly, this prep has definitely been interesting. It has been the hardest prep that I've been through, both physically and mentally. There's just been a lot of obstacles that I've had to overcome. So to touch on that a little bit more, when I started prep, just from the beginning, it just didn't really feel right. Like, even when my coach at the time was like, okay, it's time to start prep. We took a year and a half off. Like, let's do this. I was like, I don't know. Like, are you sure I'm ready? I was just worried that, I hadn't put enough size on in the off season. I was worried that I was going to go through prep again just to look the exact same as how I had looked in my last season. So just from the jump, nothing really felt right. And also, my weight was not moving. Actually, when I started prep, my weight even increased a couple pounds from the week before, when I was still enjoying like 1 to 2 untracked days a week. So to see my weight kind of start to increase at the beginning of prep, that was frustrating. We went through 2 different food drops and a couple different cardio increases as well before my weight even moved at all. And then, it was moving after that, just very slowly, but it came to the point where at 12 weeks out, I was at 1,600 calories and 80 minutes of cardio. And now I'm not saying that that is extreme by any means. Like, when it comes to bodybuilding prep, let me say that, like, obviously for day-to-day life, that is a lot. But when it comes to bodybuilding prep, like, your protocol is going to get much worse than that. But with it being 12 weeks out and having to do 80 minutes of cardio every day, it just wasn't ideal, being that extreme that far out, because obviously, like I said, bodybuilding is an extreme sport and it requires you to take some extreme measures to get to a certain level of leanness. However, you only want to be doing those extreme measures for a short period of time because it is so hard on your body. So I really just kind of felt like I needed a change. And so I did end up switching coaches at 12 weeks out, which, switching coaches in the middle of contest prep is obviously not ideal because it does take some time for a new coach to, get an understanding of how your body works, how it responds to certain things. And so having that sort of timeline in place already, like, you have to be ready for a show in 12 weeks, it does add a little bit of stress. So I was a little bit worried about that, but honestly, I can say that it was 100% the right move for me. Honestly, in these last several weeks that I've been working with my new coach, I feel so much better, both mentally and physically. And I feel like I look so much better. We've made a lot of great improvements in the last several weeks, and I'm really excited to see how these next 6.5 weeks go. So yeah, I did send check-ins to my coach this morning. I will pop those up on the screen here. Honestly, my weight has been up recently. I've been holding on to a lot of water, I feel like, but last night I randomly ended up dropping like 3.4 pounds overnight. So that's great. I feel like I do look tighter this morning because of it. So I'm excited. I'm excited to do my posing practice later to kind of get a better idea of what my physique is looking like. So I'll make sure to include some clips of that as well. But in the meantime, I'm going to get to work and I will see you guys later.
is now a little while later. It is currently around 12:40 and it is time for me to make a meal. But before I do that, I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about what I do for work, since I did mention that I was working earlier but didn't really say what I do. So I am a software developer. I work for an insurance company here in Michigan. Thankfully, this job does allow me to work from home most of the time. I only have to go into the office like once a month, which is nice because my commute is about like an hour and a half with traffic. So yeah, only have to go in once a month, and the rest of the time I can just stay at home, and that is honestly something that I'm so thankful for, especially being a bodybuilder and being in prep right now. I feel like having to go into an office every day would be just so much more draining. Plus, working from home does allow me to, make my meals whenever I need to. I can just step away for a second, make what I need, and then get right back to work. So that has honestly been such a lifesaver, especially being in prep. So yeah, that being said, I do have a meal to make right now. This meal is a little bit sad just because it is a no carb meal for me, but I do look forward to it still because I do get steak in this meal. So yeah, this meal is just 100 grams of grass-fed steak and then 100 grams of green beans. So I'm going to make that and then I'll show you guys and catch up with you again later. All right, you guys, I have wrapped up work. Cody just got home from work as well. So we're going to sit down and eat our pre-workout meal, and then we're going to head to the gym. I have legs to train today, so I'll probably try to get a couple clips of my workout while I'm there. But yeah, so I'm going to eat this. It's just 3 rice cakes with some salt on top, and then a little protein yogurt bowl with blueberries and a tiny bit of almond butter. Honestly, pretty exhausted right now. Really don't feel like going to the gym, but I'm hoping that eating some food kind of helps with that. So I'm going to eat this, and then I'll see you guys at the gym. Good morning, guys. It is now the next day. I did my fasted cardio this morning, got back, made my little greens drink, had some much needed 2 cups of coffee actually, because I am extremely dead today. But thankfully it is a rest day today, so now that cardio is out of the way, I don't have any more exercise to do today. So right now I am in the car on the way to the chiropractor. I do need to get groceries today as well. I'm like debating if I want to just do that now or do that after work. We'll see. But yeah, like I said, I am extremely tired today. Lately, honestly, the past couple days, I've just felt really, really dead and really hungry, which is to be expected, honestly. But at the same time, I am sort of grateful for it in a way, just because these hard weeks like this are the ones that just end up making you so much better as an athlete. And so I feel like these are the weeks that are really just going to build my discipline and just shape me even more as a bodybuilder. And I know that this work is going to be worth it, so I don't know, I'm still excited, even though I'm kind of feeling a little shitty lately. But yeah, also to give you an idea of just how low brain power I've been running on recently, this morning when I was making breakfast for Cody and I literally threw a fork in the microwave. Didn't even notice at all. Like the timer went off and I pulled it out, realized that there was still a fucking fork in there. Thankfully, it didn't even like spark or explode. I think it was just because I had only set the timer for 15 seconds, so it didn't really have time to like blow shit up. But yeah, that happened. Brain power is just, it's at a minimum right now. But anyway, I am going to go to the chiropractor, and then once I get back, I think I'm going to sit down and talk a little bit more about just my competing history and some more details about this prep. So yeah, I will see you guys when we get home. All right, guys, we are back home now, and I did end up getting groceries while I was out, so I'm going to do a quick little haul and show you guys what I got. First up, I got a shit ton of eggs, because Cody and I both use these, so we go through them pretty fast. And then I got some pineapple. I have this in my post-workout meal on training days. And I also picked up 2 bags of frozen green beans. I go through a ton of these, so I usually always pick some up while I'm at the store. And a big box of spinach, because this is another thing that I go through pretty quickly. And then, oh my God, next up, look what I found. It's this Kinder's garlic parmesan seasoning. I've been obsessed with the Kinder seasonings, especially this prep, because I like kind of just discovered them. My 2 like top favorites are usually the buttery steakhouse seasoning. I put that on my chicken, and also the lemon butter garlic. That's the one I've been using to season like my spinach and my green beans. But I feel like this one is going to be so good on green beans. So I'm going to give that a try today. And then next up, I got some almond butter. Trying out this new brand. When I get almond butter, I try to get the kind that the ingredients are literally just almonds in them. But the kind I usually get is from like a health food grocery store, and so it's like really expensive. So I was trying to find a different one. Found this one, and I'm hoping that it's going to taste as good. Next up, I got Mio lemonade. I put this in my greens drink and my reds drink, and also my intra workout drink. This flavor is amazing. If you haven't tried it, definitely try it out. And then next up, just some apple cider vinegar, because I do have to drink 2 ounces of this every morning, which is pretty nasty, but it does help so much with digestion. Last 2 things that I have here are egg whites. I got 3 cartons of these, and then 2 tubs of this plain non-fat Greek yogurt. So yeah, that's everything that I got. I'm starving right now. It's been quite some time since I've eaten. So I'm going to bust out a quick posing session, make a meal, and then I will catch up with you guys a little bit later on. So I just finished up work for the day, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about my competing history and just my bodybuilding journey so far. So I did my very first show in November of 2021. For that show, it was really just a quick 9-week prep. Honestly, I didn't come in lean enough, like at all. But I mean, I still looked good. Overall, I was happy with how it went. I mean, it was a fun show. It was a great experience, and it really caused me to just fall in love with bodybuilding. So in that show, I competed in the True Novice and Open classes. In True Novice, I did end up winning, and then I got second place in my Open class. And so because I got second place in my Open class, I qualified to go to Nationals. So after that show, I took a quick like 5-month off season, just because I really I knew I wanted to do a national show while I was qualified. So just took like a 5-month off season, tried to grow as much as I could. But honestly, that off season wasn't great for me. You know, I struggled with binge eating a little bit. I really wasn't pushing myself hard in the gym. And so overall, just not great. So I did my next show in August of 2022. It was another regional show that we did as like a warm up to nationals. At that show, I placed second in my Open class once again. And then I did North Americans for my national show, which was in September of 2022 in Pittsburgh. And it was there that I like really had a wake up call. Because honestly, going into that season, I had people around me locally saying like, oh, like you're too big for bikini, you should do figure instead. And I'd heard that from multiple people, several people, honestly. So in the back of my mind, I was kind of worried, like, I don't know, like, am I going to be too big, too muscular? Are they going to penalize me for being too big? And so that was something I was worried about going into my shows that season, but honestly, I showed up to nationals and these girls are fucking jacked. Like they look amazing and they have so much muscle. So I was like, holy shit, like I'm small. I need to grow. So anyway, North Americans, I ended up placing, I think, it's like towards the end of second callouts, maybe 14th place or something like that. So not great. But honestly, I'm glad I went because I got to see, that level of competition. Because Michigan doesn't always have the best competition for shows. A lot of the shows tend to be smaller. So the level of competition at local shows compared to the level of competition at national shows as far as like leanness, muscle size, everything like that, it's night and day. So it was nice to be able to see like a more realistic idea of where I stand as a competitor and what I need to improve upon to, be more competitive in my next seasons. So after doing North Americans, I took a long off season. It was about a year and a half, I think just over a year and a half long. And in that time, I did put on 40 pounds. It was not like, it wasn't because I fucked up my reverse or because I was like eating like an asshole or anything like that. Like I stuck to my reverse like 100%. And it was very gradual too. It's not like I blew up after my show. It was obviously over the course of that year and a half that we kind of slowly increased calories and my weight went up. My coach at the time, he really liked to push food in the off season. So at my peak bulk, I was eating like 3,500 calories a day, which is insane. But I mean, I do love food, so I wasn't complaining. But it was definitely uncomfortable physically and mentally being 40 pounds up from my stage weight. So that was tough, but started prep on February 16th of this year. So I don't know how many weeks it's been, honestly, and my brain is just not functioning well enough to count right now. So but I've been on prep since February 16th. And like I mentioned earlier, I've been working with a new coach. So far, I feel like things are going really well. I do feel like I've put on a lot of size in my glutes. I have a feeling that my feedback this year is going to be more upper glute because I can kind of tell I'm still lacking in that area. So that's something I'm excited to really focus on in my next off season. But yeah, so I'm currently like 6.5 weeks out. I'll probably still call this a 7 weeks out vlog because it's close enough. But I'm really excited to see how these next several weeks go. I feel like this kind of like 6 week out range is where it's like, it's weird because it's like you only have 6 weeks left, but at the same time, it's like you still have 6 weeks left. Like it feels like so close, but so far away at the same time. So I'm excited to see how my physique is going to change. Already, honestly, I feel like I have never looked the way that I do right now before. So that's really exciting and we can only get better from here. I'm excited to keep pushing hard these next 6.5 weeks. Also, just to talk about what show I'm doing this season, I will be competing at the Patriots Challenge show in Las Vegas on July 20th. So I'm super excited. I've never been to Vegas before, so I think that in itself is going to be a really cool experience. Not to mention, Vegas shows tend to be very high competition, so I'm excited. I honestly have no expectations of how I'm going to place. I'm curious. I'm very curious to see where I fall, if I'm even going to qualify to go to nationals this year, and how that's going to go. So yeah, I'm just excited. I feel like I am going to be bringing my best. I feel like it's going to be significantly better than I've ever looked on stage. So I'm really excited for that. And yeah, this is going to wrap up the 6.5, 7 weeks out vlog. And let me know if you guys have any questions about my prep or any sort of prep content that you want to see going forward. And I will see you guys next week.